Yo, what up? What up, Forrest? Perfect. Give me that. Nah, Forrest. Nah, you be doing too much sometimes. Like, it'd be too much sometimes. I'm sorry, Chief. Hold on. I'll think about it. But like, I gotta keep it professional. Cancel this and then I'm just hey, welcome in, guys. I'm just setting everything up. The debate starts in 30 minutes. So yeah, I just woke up from the fattest nap I've ever taken in my life. But let me see. Let's see. Forrest. Don't call me a gorilla.
I've never done that.
I'm kidding.
I'm just repeating other lines. Bro, give me my mod back, bro.
I'll think about it.
How you gonna think about it? You asked me for $30. I didn't think about it.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. I do need a feedback.
I don't care about the money. It's about the principle. It's about the respect. It's not about the money. So you can get interrupted by this dude. I could get interrupted by this dude. You're the host. I'm the mod, and he fights the mute button when I'm just trying to get him to shut the fuck up so we can talk for 2 seconds because we're friends, right? Yeah. And then you take my mod away, and then he gets dog walked by Kylo. He gets dog walked by CF. Who else fucking bent him over today?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you playing, bruh.
But
I didn't even do anything wrong. I just tried to get him to shut up. What's up, Cole? Good luck, bro. I hope you do well.
Thanks, Forrest. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope you do all right, bro.
And we're starting in 30 minutes. So yeah, like everybody can come up, but we're gonna start in like 30 minutes.
Man, definitely give me my mod now, bro. I gotta keep this dude in control.
Give me some mod powers, Coco. I'm gonna muzzle this dude.
Yeah, you know what? Give Lewis and me mod powers.
You know what? Give me my papers so I can stay in America. Thank you.
Or you could be like Curtis and say that you're gonna deport me on every live.
Oh yeah, CF Jewel. We do have a debate tonight. Tonight we're gonna be doing Coco Mania 8. Is full preterism biblical? It's gonna be Godless Engineer versus Cole, who's here on my right.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is not conducive to being able to actually read the background, brother.
Yeah, I need to figure this out.
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
Well, we can see you, but we can't see the background, you know.
Nope.
This is a bit iffy.
You know, if only you had a mod that could actually fix this for you.
Yeah, Coco, as long as I've been with you, man, you've never modded me. I found that really strange.
You don't deserve a mod, bro.
I'm very picky with my mods because I am.
Am I not good enough for you?
Let's see.
No.
I've jumped in for you on a debate whenever it was 2 hours notice. I'm the #1 fan.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be one of your best friends. And the only people that I ever mod abuse are the people that won't shut the fuck up on the panel when they're talking over either you or me.
Okay, realistically, Forrest, I might give his mod powers back, but
Luis got to get his green card, and then I'll consider giving my mod to him.
In regards to mods, I am trying to run a professional channel.
Thank you for your candor.
Show.
It's okay. I'm not professional enough. I get it.
Thank you for your candor, Coco.
Oh no, you are. It's just that I'm very picky with my mods, and like historically, like I've had friends who have like abused their mod powers and like don't really care about the project.
Have you ever thanked
so-
anybody for their candor, Luis?
But yeah, that's a whole other thing. But
I have actually.
Okay, well then you might qualify.
Coco, what time is the debate tonight?
In 27 minutes.
So it's 7 o'clock Central?
Yeah.
So what if I use the forest as a reference? Would that help me like get some credibility in here?
Currently, that's going
Maybe.
to decrease your chances of getting the mod because I don't even have one.
But
Oh, never mind.
It's all good. Coco home me, bro.
Oh no, like I'm probably gonna give it back to Forrest. But
Yeah,
also,
probably, maybe, sort of. Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
But also, Forrest, like we're trying to run a professional show, so if I give you back your mod powers, keep them in the
Yeah.
consideration.
So Forrest, he's saying don't get out of hand, my friend.
Don't go overboard. We're trying to run a professional show, and we can't run off all the Christians because it's a debate panel, and we kind of need opposition. So
You just ran him off, so
Lewis,
yeah.
while we're
Lewis
waiting
is
for
good.
But no, if you're down, well, I don't know what the future holds. Like, your game has already taken off, and if you want to do a brand deal with me, I'd be open-minded. And then I don't know, like,
you could play his game on stream.
I mean,
I have.
yeah, he has.
Free publicity.
Well, here's the thing, right? We just released our comics, our toys, so yeah, we could do something together.
Oh, and
I'm waiting to get approved on TikTok Shop, by the way, for affiliates as well.
How much do you get a signed comic book?
Yeah. I was gonna say, sell stuff on TikTok Shop, and I'm already doing like TikTok Shop ads anyway.
That's our next big move. So we're actually gonna start doing blind bags. So we're doing like a limited 5,000 run blind bags for the comics with like tiered rarities, right? That's really huge in the collectible world right now. So like, I think in one day we did like 10 grand on the comics and the toys. So it's starting to really grow into like the next indie collectible universe. So yeah, so once we catch the momentum, and we get that TikTok Shop verified, then you can start selling on here with your link. So I'll let you know when that's coming. They kind of paused it because they wanted us to like prove the address to the corporation, but they're giving us a hard time. But it's going to be a very generous cut, so that we're not trying to make money up front yet. It's more so like getting the fan base growing, right? So that way, once it's to a certain place, it's like, we're selling 5, 10, 15, 20, 30,000 comics at a time. But yeah, we can do something.
Is this going to be streamed on YouTube right now?
It is currently streaming on YouTube right now.
Because I'm not going to be able to catch the debate live. Something came up, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
Will it be available for me to watch later tonight, or will I have to wait a couple days like usual?
It will be available to watch tonight. It's currently streaming to YouTube, I think. So it'll be on YouTube, and then I'm also gonna edit it and like make it better. So there'll be a YouTube version or a live version.
What are you talking about, Vanilla? Shut up. What are you? You're back from who?
You are live on YouTube.
Basically, like
Remember.
when you go to my YouTube and there's gonna be a live tab, go there and you're gonna see Coco Mania 8, and you can watch it live recording. And then I'm also gonna post like my edit with like the intro and the outro and stuff.
Okay. But the actual raw footage before you edit it is going to be available tonight, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
I'm pretty
Coco,
sure
what time is it?
Let me check.
7 Central.
Yep. And they have the format. We're not gonna have judges. Like, I guess I might have no vote or audience vote. But yeah. God This Engineer didn't really care for judges or an audience vote. And cool. Do you specifically want judges or an audience vote? I don't think you care about it either.
I didn't really care that much. I mean, we can do an audience vote. Like, my only problem with doing an audience vote was I was just saying it was more like a popularity contest. But if I really don't care, like if you want to do an audience vote or not, Coco, yeah, I'm not that worried about it.
Well, the audience vote could be done without it counting toward their stats you add to that website of yours, Coco.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say I have a scoreboard on my blog site. of all the debates that I posted.
Yo, I just started watching your YouTube like last night. I discovered it finally.
Oh, what do you think about it?
It's good. I just got to catch up on those all those debates you have there.
Yeah, like there's been
pretty cool.
tons. I
Happy for you.
posted I posted debates with like PhDs actually, which I'm very proud about. So I have Dr. Ryan Mullins versus Dr. Kirshner uploaded there. I hosted it with John Steele, and I posted plenty of debates with over 50 different individual content creators. Some of which I'm still friends with. Some, life happens and we go our separate directions. But, it is what it is.
You guys check on my boy Seer if he's doing okay today?
Yeah, he was here today.
No, he's not doing okay. I dog walked him twice.
I mean, check on my guy. He's okay.
No, it was. We just had some silly debates today. It was good.
Did you and
I watched
Cousin
it this
have a
morning.
discussion on this topic or what we're talking about?
Oh, I debated him on if a hot dog is a sandwich and if a flower is a tree.
No, I was asking, sorry, but I appreciate it.
No, me and Godless had
my
a
bad.
discussion about mythicism earlier. It's on his YouTube.
Oh, okay.
The atheists were so hardcore, I almost became Christian. I said, "Nah, man, these guys are demons."
The Seer and all those people are over in Kylo's Discord right now. I think they're taking turns debating Danny about and doing their whole rhetoric game they do.
That sounds super fun.
Yeah, just being super unclear on the language, not clarifying, talking real fast. That silly game that all these anime debaters are doing nowadays.
Anime debaters is such a perfect title.
Get to the argument.
I think
I was listening this morning. They wouldn't even get to the argument. They would only argue about definitions. And
I think they even like money gets traded in there, right? So like they do like debates and like if you win you earn money. I think Uji Kylo puts money up front.
I mean, cool for them. That's not my style. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
The knowledge is the only money I need.
Yeah, like the Knowledge Gap crew, the KG crew, like they have a very competitive debate culture going on. Like like every minute of the day I'm getting some kind of notification from OG Kylo's Discord, and they're going around TikTok debating, getting stronger, competing, and yeah, there's a competitive debate culture happening.
Let me ask you a macro question, Coco. Do you think for the greater good, that is a better... I think it's a good thing that people are getting together and having discourse. But do you think for the dialectic that humans are trying to have at this current point in time, that style of rhetoric is more beneficial or less beneficial to the overarching dialectic?
I think sometimes it can be definitely a tad bit overly aggressive. And I'm like, okay, I get that we're trying to win and be the best debater on the app. But has it tipped into toxicity? I mean, okay, like a little bit, right?
It's not even... There's not even an effort to be clear in these conversations that they're having. It's an effort to confuse. It's not a good faith debate.
But
that's why I cooked Seer twice, because I was clear and consistent, and he was trying to obfuscate.
I mean,
that's
earlier,
why a hot dog's a sandwich. Boom.
Earlier, Matthew said he was using. Let me give you an example. Matthew said he was using modus ponens earlier, right? And they asked him what modus ponens said, and he said what modus ponens is. Sorry, and he says it's an if-then statement. Now, technically, that's incorrect, but what he was trying to capture is what modus ponens is. It's if X then Y, X therefore Y. That's modus ponens, right? So to say modus ponens is a conditional is a completely reasonable definition to come up with on the fly, I think. So and then they made a big deal about that he was somehow he lost the debate because he got that technical aspect wrong. It's just a semantics game.
What's up, Sirloin? What were you trying to say?
When you say seer, you mean Daniel?
Mm-hmm. I dog walked it.
Bro, he gave me an argument the other day, and I looked at him and I said, your premise one literally says that creation can create itself. and then gets mad at me when I point out his flaws.
That'll happen when you're like 19 and your ego's the size of the fucking Empire State.
Right now I'm kind of just bringing up friends. But like later we can have like other people. But
We're waiting for a debate to start, gang.
Yeah, we're waiting for Godless Engineer to get here, but he's not late. Like it's early. Like
Yeah, we're
17
20 minutes ahead of schedule here. It looks like.
It's the pre-show. You know when they have like the talk shows before the football games and after.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Normally, before these debate events that I host, I'm like super nervous. I'm like, it's not that I'm unprepared, but I'm super nervous and I'm setting everything up. But today I feel pretty good. Like, I'm not even nervous at all.
Hey, it's Rhetoristics. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, no, I'm now an anime debater, so I had to put like the highest power scaled anime character in my profile.
So valid. So valid.
South
Dude,
Park
in
is
this,
like-
oh my god, in this Discord, have you been in this Discord, Sticks, that I'm talking about? This Kylo Gang Discord? They're calling them the Kylo Gang. That's what this group is called. Have you been in this Discord?
No, I don't fuck with Discord anymore.
This Discord, they have like different rankings, like where they have some kind of like
Somebody
thing
enters
attached
low
to their
tier.
name.
That's
Yeah, it says like high tier, mid tier, and low tier. And Danny was talking to this guy, okay, and I don't even know what the guy was saying. Danny doesn't know what he was saying, and they said because Danny couldn't track when the guy was intentionally not being clear, they moved Danny from high tier to mid tier. It's just,
Of course.
in what world is Danny Phil talking mid tier? I mean,
My
come
favorite
on.
is when you're talking with them, like, and just this is like a summary of their kind of rhetoric. Like, you'll ask them to respond to an argument, and they'll go, "Yeah, what's the argument? I should respond to your argument."
God damn it. Rhetoric maxing. That's what that is.
What's the point? What's the point of even talking to these people?
There's
It's
a new
fun
there's a new wave
sometimes.
of them right now that speak so fucking fast I can't understand them. I'm actually just impressed at how fast you can speak.
I'm impressed on how many terms they can use in like 5 sentences. Like they like try to knowledge pack every single sentence every single time.
And what's
And
crazy
it's
is
like-
they use it
ironically-
incorrectly.
Exactly.
Ironically, Deathless is the best of this kind of rhetoric, and they're not even trying to mimic Deathless.
Oh,
But
I
they're-
hate, bro. I hate Deathless, bro. I hate that man.
I don't even know who he is. So he must
Yeah,
not be
yes,
that
you
big.
do. Yes, you do.
Have I talked to him?
Oh, you know who
Yes,
Deathless is. Come on.
You've talked to him on my live a few times. He's that dude that basically just over talks everybody and like goes that way.
Yeah,
He's an idiot.
That's like every other Christian I interact with. So I just
No,
that's
no,
another
no,
day
no,
for me.
no. You'll know.
If I see him, I'll let you know.
I think he's a goat. So I just don't think you guys know how it feels to lose.
Sticks. I've heard some good things about you though.
You haven't. It's a lie.
It's a lie.
I'm actually unaffiliated with the other sticks on this app.
But
I'm Cartman.
But if you guys could,
There's too many.
there's-
Got too many people to
there's-
say, man.
Oh, but really quick, if you guys could, there's 32 people in the live. If you could, just please tap your screens like the live, share with anybody who you think might be interested. In 13 minutes, we're going to start a debate event called Coco Mania 8. It's a debate event where I host debates by myself, hosting individual content creators on this app debating against each other. It's going to be Godless Engineer versus Cole on Is Full Preterism Biblical? So if you're interested in that, share with anybody who you think might be interested. Tap the screen. It helps to get more people in here, and I appreciate you guys being here. Now, continue.
If you're on TikTok, don't forget to send in your heart me's if you haven't already. Make sure we're filling up the GGs so we can get some more people in here to watch this good ass debate that's about to go down. Don't forget, if you don't have any friends, you can always share the live and click the link, and it counts as a share. So don't forget.
And,
Oh, what side are you taking?
I'm the affirmative.
Am I low tier if I ask what preterism is?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds good.
you're the bottom of the low tier.
I know, and Daniel got walked by the lowest tier debater on this app. Okay, sorry.
so-
What is preter? No, me. What is preterism? Sorry.
It's basically the idea that everything in the Bible, including Revelation, has already happened.
Whoa. That's,
Yeah, I think Jesus already returned. The resurrection, the same little season, all that stuff.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to hear where this goes, though.
And then, godless engineers arguing against it. But yeah,
Are they both Christians, or is one non-Christian?
godless engineer is a famous atheist that is on this app that hosts lives.
That makes sense. If his name is Godless.
He also has a lot of subscribers on YouTube.
You got judges tonight, Cole, or?
No, we didn't do any judges tonight.
We'll probably just do audience vote. I think I'll just leave it up to the audience.
Gladiator style.
Yeah. Who shall win? Like you guys tell me. Is it this champion or is he your champion?
Are you not entertained, Coco?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, we need like a bracket where we like set up like Trinitarians, Unitarians, Philbros, like low tier atheists. Who else would go in there? And we like bracket it. Everyone selects their champion, you know, and like we just bracket it out.
Ooh.
Me and Jewel
Preterists.
are at the bottom of our tiers, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'll be the
what you're saying
underdog in my
is
bracket.
What you're saying is we need another tier list.
No, we don't need a tier list. We need a bracket.
You're banned from making, and we need a tier list of tier lists, and your tier list is at the bottom of the tier list.
Coco's an F. We put him in the F tier for the tier list makers.
I'll actually have you guys know that I extorted Coco to put me in S tier.
If that can happen, do it.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, actually, I could find a website that does like brackets, and probably is the same thing as the tier list. You can like upload images and do brackets. I could find something like that. Do it for a
I'm gonna actually make a tier list, and you guys can actually just pay to get to a higher tier. So
someone sends like triple galaxies, and you're like, well, this person is S tier. He's like dog walking everybody on the app.
Rob just sends a bunch of money and gets S tier.
Yeah.
That's how
I mean,
it goes.
you could probably make a lot of money.
Dude, if you did brackets though, that might be a weekend thing. Like you might like run a tourney.
Oh, I mean, sure, yeah, like we could do that. I'm always like innovating, trying to.
I'd be
like,
down to help you set that up too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I think the key to succeeding on social media is posting a lot, going live a lot, and then just innovating and trying to be keep it fresh.
Look at Daniel down in the comments saying, why y'all yapping? How did you lose an argument about a fucking hot dog, bro?
I'm gonna stay silent. I'm gonna grab some water. I'm gonna take you guys with me. Let me go. Let's go get
W hydration. Hydrate or dihydrate, as they say.
Yeah, but my kidneys are filled with soda. Not gonna lie.
It's soda and sodium. You fucking ramen demon.
Ramen demon.
you guys ever just get like actually fucked up and come on TikTok and debate? I did that a couple of weeks ago. I was like at a bar, and like I went out just like to get some air, and I just like opened up TikTok, and like I was like shit faced, and like decided to just like join some random live and debate. I don't think I even knew what I was saying, but I think that's what we should do. We should do like a drunken TikTok debate night where everyone gets fucked up, and then whoever can like survive. What's up, Seer?
Oh, what's up, guy?
Hey, I figured since everyone's doing like anime debate profiles, I figured I'd have the highest power scaled anime debater profile pick.
I'm actually on my alt account, and I was just like, what am I going to put as my profile picture? And I just like flipped a coin. I'm like, what's the anime I'm watching right now? Vinland Saga? That's what it's gonna be.
Well, some motherfucker tried doxing me this week, so.
Oh, for real?
Now I'm laying low. Yeah.
Oh, they got mad after the Philbro atheist sticks wiped them out in a debate, probably, huh?
I've never won a debate in my life.
Tell me something.
I don't
Daniel.
know. You versus Theosophical is low key kind of a fucking.
Hey Daniel, tell me something.
What the fuck do you want?
How'd you get dog walked by Jewel twice?
Actually, let me explain this. Number one, he was trying to run the argument or like render an argument that a hot dog's a sandwich, and it said that the bread is locationally distinct from each other. But by saying locationally distinct, he's saying it's also like the same thing. Blunder number one. Number two, this man was just saying, yeah, flowers grow off of a woody substance. Roses have a woody substance. Therefore, flowers are wood.
Straw man, holy fuck.
Well, trivialism is obviously true, so like.
Whoa, yo, Sticks. I have after I like give my argument in my formal debate against Matthew, I actually want you to rate my argument because it's for
Wait, like Matthew, like bearded Matthew?
I don't know. Matthew with the dog profile picture.
Oh, you're debating him?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Day hasn't been made yet. But we're
Do you know the prop?
Yeah, the affirmative and the negation of God's existence.
Oh, fun. Yeah, no, I mean, I'll definitely tune in.
That's where you go.
Please run Trivialism, though. That would be so goated.
Bro. Oh, excuse me. I'm not running Trivialism.
So you said, Joel, that Daniel strawmanning you on your sandwich and flour.
Okay, wait, Joel. No, I'm not a straw man on his flour. Yeah, Serlin, can you stop dick sucking? Okay, continue.
I'm talking to.
I know. I just had to throw an ad hoc. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. How's he strawmanning you or still manning you?
The straw man of my position is that because a hot dog is one continuous piece of bread, it's a sandwich, which was not at all how that proposition was laid out. The proposition was laid out that the qualities of a sandwich has to be between two distinct parts. Those parts don't necessarily have to be separated. They can be one continuous piece of bread that have to be distinct from each other. And because the hot dog bun is one piece. So you weren't tracking my argument at all.
No. What does it mean to be one but distinct?
You can have two pieces that are distinct from each other. Just because my body is one, my hands are distinct.
Distinct from each other, then they're separate, or like there's a distinction.
My body is one piece, but my hands are distinct from each other. What the fuck are you talking about? You're so low tier, and you lost to me, the lowest tier.
Wait. So if I have one piece of bread cut down the middle, are they locationally distinct?
There's a top piece and a bottom piece, or a left piece and a right piece. They're locationally distinct.
You fucking idiot! That's like indicating two separate pieces.
No.
Red fish, blue fish.
You didn't say it was completely separated.
All right. Let's just end this. Godless engineer, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going good. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this high tier debate?
Yeah.
Are you gonna start talking about hidden esoteric knowledge?
What?
Nothing.
No.
Okay.
No, we got 5 minutes till the debate starts.
Who's taking the affirmative and who's taking the negation?
I'm taking the affirmative.
Yep.
Oh my
Godless
goodness.
is taking the negation.
Yep.
Godless is gonna win this debate. Wait, who wants to roll polls, bro? I got 43 cents on Godless.
If you only got 43 cents, brother, that's a problem.
Everybody get on Kalshi.
Kalshi, the fucking Coco debate. I bet we could run odds on that, actually.
So right now, if you go to sports bets,
I don't think we're allowed to do that on TikTok.
oh shit,
Yo,
It's all good. We love TikTok Shop.
we love TikTok shop.
whoever wins, I'm gonna gift them all 43 of my cents.
43 roses. Imagine that. 43 roses.
A whole
If you win.
43 roses. A whole 43.
Like all
That's big
43.
money.
It's big money, I'm telling you.
If you guys are wondering what the format tonight's going to be, it's going to be 7-minute openers, and then there's going to be like 32 minutes of like open dialogue for both of them to like establish their position or delegitimize the opponent's position, and then there's going to be 5-minute closers.
Is that like a they can talk to each other and also like talk separately for the 32?
Yeah.
Wait, I actually have a question. Can somebody define preterism?
It's giving the idea that like everything in the Bible, including
is-
Revelation, has already happened.
This is why you're so low tier, Daniel. Like, damn, bro.
Yo, Serlin, I'm sorry that I'm not gooning to your Gnostic trivialism. How about you tell me, is Paul a fish? Okay, so we're just gonna move
I
on from
mean,
that.
what do you mean? What do you mean by Paul the fish? I mean, I do have a fish named Paul.
Look at this Gnostic doing Gnostic things. Shut up. I'm not gonna feed you pearl, swine. Moving on.
Oink, oink.
That's anti-Semitic, and you know it.
Actually, no, it's not
That's
anti-Semitic.
actually
I'm calling him
friendly.
Egyptian. I'm calling him Egyptian. Come on.
But yeah. But yeah, if you guys can tap the screens, like the live. Let's see if we can get to like 10K before 7.
In fact, I'm not.
7.
No, we have. I forgot that we actually have Paul in the chat.
Paul?
I'm gonna ask him comments in the chat.
Paul? Yeah, I see Paul. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a good debate. I just woke up from a nap. I don't have coffee or like soda. I'm drinking water. I might be a little bit laid back, or maybe I'm just old. But that's it.
Everybody, like the live. Get ready for this intense intellectual interlocutor that's gonna occur on the controversial compass.
Hell yeah.
We have our contenders, Godless Engineer and Cole Triple H. Obviously, off of the topic, is full preterism biblical? We're finna find out through this absolute argumentation. Let's have a good interlocutor, guys, and let's come out with trying to find the truth instead of trying to find ego. And I'm sure this debate is going to be good. So,
absolutely. But yeah, we got 1 minute till it, guys. Is it okay if I drop everybody? Can I?
Yeah, let's all be good goys.
Debaters.
Let's all
Have
be
fun.
good goys and stay in the comments. And,
yeah, of course. Yeah, if you just want me to, if you want me to go,
Daniel, kick him first.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I'll handle that business.
Good luck,
Y'all be
debaters.
good
Have fun.
goys and good everybody else. Bye.
See you guys around. Thank you for coming out. Booyah, booyah. But yeah, we got like 1 minute to it. So we got 41 people in the live. If you can, throughout the entire debate, just tap your screens. It helps to get more people in here and put this live on the For You page. And tap your screen, share with anybody who you think might be interested. So I guess we're gonna start. It's 7 o'clock. Today we're basically doing Coco Mania 8, a questioning of fate and its date. I think that's the name. I put out a promo video for it and edited it and everything, so that's pretty cool. Today we have 2 amazing content creators on the TikTok app. We have Godless Engineer, who's going to be taking the negation of this topic that's floating above my head. Is full preterism biblical? And then we're also going to have Cole, who's taking the affirmation. He's saying that full preterism is biblical. If you're wondering what full preterism is, it's the idea that everything in the Bible has already occurred. From Genesis to Revelation, Jesus has already come. All of that stuff has been completed, and there's nothing else to be completed. So that's that. The format tonight is going to be 7-minute openers, 32-minute of open dialogue, 5-minute closers, and in the end, we're just going to do like an audience vote in order to see like who the winner is. So you guys get to choose, and I'm going to leave that up to you. In regards to gifts, look, I know we're in a tough climate right now. We're struggling financially. I'm struggling financially, so gifts are not expected, right? It's optional if you want to give any gifts. We simply appreciate you being here and watching the event. That's how I'm able to put on so many of these. But if you have any gifts, please gift the debaters first. Gift them first, because I can't do this without them. And then if you have any extra change, send it to me. I typically use the gifts by transferring it onto PayPal, and I use it to fund this project and to do many more. But you don't have to gift. We just appreciate you guys being here. But with that, thank you guys for being here. Tap your screens, like the live, share with whoever you think might be interested, and we'll get started with Cole. You're going to be doing your opening statement, which is going to be 7 minutes. So I'm setting up the countdown right now. And your 7-minute opener will start whenever you say your first word.
Oh, sorry, I was totally. Cole is going first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm on mute.
Oh, no, you're good. You ready, Cole?
I am. Just say when. All right, so I am going to be defending the idea that full preterism is biblical. I'm going to try to hit on 3 main points right now. The first one I'm going to talk about is the nature of the coming of Jesus, that being the parousia of Jesus. So we see in the Old Testament that the parousia, or really the day of the Lord, and this coming in the clouds language, we see it a lot in the Old Testament tied to judgment and like temporal judgment. This isn't like some supernatural event. It is armies judging the nation, which ties perfectly to the 70 AD when Christ judged Israel. I believe that's Isaiah 19:1. It speaks of Yahweh riding on a swift cloud to judge Egypt, and we see that same language in Luke 21, and Matthew 24, and in Revelation 1. The clouds being is usually to reference the dust coming off the feet of the soldiers coming to judge the city. Now we see that language used in where is it? I'm looking at Luke 21 right now. Christ is talking to the disciples. He says, "Then you will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with power and great glory." We can tie that to Isaiah. Yahweh riding on a swift cloud to judge Egypt. So that was judgment language, and I would say that judgment was fulfilled in the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. The other would be the supposed destruction of the entire planet that we see talked about, in 2 Peter. First of all, we have to understand that these people didn't have a concept of the entire planet. This was 2,000 years ago. Their idea of the planet would have been just their own inhabited land. So and even more so, the heaven and earth language that we see when Christ tells the disciples that heaven and earth he says heaven and earth will not pass, or the law will not pass away until heaven and earth pass away. Well, Christ is referencing their covenant system. There was heaven and earth. It was the place where heaven and earth met. It was the microcosm of the universe. So this was heaven and earth to these people. And the resurrection, Paul talks about in 1 Corinthians 15. He ties the resurrection to the covenant headships. And another thing I have thought about being that Paul, all through 1 Corinthians 15, is using an analogy to try to explain to them what this resurrection will be like, what their bodies will be like, and things like that. But if the resurrection was supposed to be, if we think Christ's resurrection was completely physical, then a physical resurrection, or if Christ was raised in a spiritual body, it would have been some sort of spiritual body resurrection. But Paul uses all these analogies and such things like that, and he never explicitly just says that, which usually when you use analogies, it's to explain something that your audience wouldn't understand. But I would think that Paul's audience would understand that Christ rose in a spiritual and physical body, but Paul doesn't really straight up say that. He kind of beats around the question. So Paul, I hold to this being a covenantal corporate resurrection, those who were dead in the old covenant being risen into the new covenant. So that's why Paul ties it to the covenant headships. Let me see. The word body there, Paul uses that same word to speak of the body of Christ. So we know it can mean this sort of corporate idea of resurrection, or corporate idea of body. It doesn't necessarily have to mean your physical corpse. And with that, honestly, I will concede my time. I just really wanted to explain my position, and we can the open discussion will be where the meat of this will be. So thank you.
Okay, thank you for your opening. I appreciate your candor, Cole. And with that, we're going to move on to Godless Engineer, your opening 7 minutes. It will start whenever you say your first word.
All right. Glad to be here. So I don't know if I'll get through my entire opening. I've got a lot of content here. So full preterism is defined by the idea that Christ's visible return, a resurrection of the dead, and the final judgment happened in the year 70. Nobody seemed to notice that it occurred, though. No historian noticed it, though outside the doctrinal commitments that require the event to happen. Full preterism is not a biblical view and is swiftly refuted. Tonight, I want to argue for a far simpler explanation than my opponent is going to be presenting. My refutation of full preterism is predicated on two pillars. First, the historical record contains no evidence that the supposed prophetic events ever happened. Second, the New Testament describes those events as observable and bodily. It also explicitly condemns the central claim that the resurrection has already occurred. Full preterism is falsified by both history and its own scriptures that it stands on. Full preterism is the position that every New Testament prophecy, including the bodily resurrection and the visible return of Christ, was fulfilled in the year 70. In Paul's epistles, it's clear that he's expecting a physical arrival with his use of parousia. Finally, Paul communicates that the resurrection is bodily, which means a transformation of the perishable body into the imperishable body. These are the requirements set forth by the New Testament. They are not my requirements. These are the requirements my opponent is bound to in this debate. Preterism is essentially a rescue device for failed New Testament requirements. I do agree that the New Testament authors expected something to happen within their generation. There was an urgency in their words like this generation, soon, the time is near, and other such phrases. They were sincere about this urgency too. They truly believed the sun would go dark, the stars would fall, and the Son of Man would appear visibly in the sky, and the dead would be raised. In reality, near the year 70 CE brought a Roman military siege. Calling this siege the same as a darkened sun, stars literally falling, and the Son of Man visibly appearing in the sky, and the dead raised up is ludicrous. To rescue these failed expectations of the New Testament authors, you would need to turn every prophecy into a metaphor. Turning real concrete prophetic statements and sentiments into nothing more than metaphors is the last bastion of failed theology. Considering the New Testament requires specific public observable claims, is there any evidence of these events in history? As we'll see, nothing in the historical record will meet the requirements set forth by the New Testament authors. This is not some specious argument from silence. If these events actually happened, as the New Testament requires, we should expect to see them recorded in contemporaneous accounts. This total absence of evidence is, in this case, the evidence against full preterism. Now, I can go into the actual historical record on this, but considering the my time frame here, I want to skip to my New Testament stuff. But like I said, we can go back to the historical nature of it, how it's not historical. So full preterism was being soundly rejected by second century Christians. We could start with 2 Timothy 2:17-18. It's not written by Paul, but by second century Christians. And it says, quote, among them are Hymenaeus and Philetus. That's weird. Who have swerved from the truth, saying resurrection has already occurred. They are upsetting the faith of some. They specifically name the full preterism position and condemn it. The New Testament specifically identifies the position as a false teaching. Acts 1:11 has two angels directly saying to the apostles, men of Galilee, why do you stand looking up toward heaven? This Jesus who has been taken up from you into heaven will come in the same way as you saw him go into heaven. This is what the Christians of 2 Timothy were expecting. The full preterist claims, the full preterist claims the return was invisible and accomplished through Roman military siege. That is not the same manner. That is not what the 2 Timothy Christians were expecting either. Third, in 1 Corinthians 15, Paul writes that what is sown perishable is raised imperishable, that the dead will be raised at the last trumpet, and that we will all be changed. He uses the seed analogy, something physical sown, something physical raised. He ties believers' future resurrection to the past resurrection of Jesus, which the Gospels describe as bodily. An empty tomb, a body that could be touched, a body that could be eaten. The full preterist must claim that this is a physical bodily transformation occurred visibly in the year 70, contradicting the entire argument of the passage. Even within the preterist and theological tradition, this tension has been recognized. As mentioned earlier in my thing, I mentioned R.C. Sproul. Actually, he says, if I can find the thing right here, he laments over the actual preterist. Let's see, Sproul. I got a minute and a half. Yes, R.C. Sproul, himself a preterist, partial preterist, wrote in The Last Days According to Jesus that full preterists bear the burden in this controversy of showing that creedal orthodoxy has been wrong at crucial points of eschatological understanding. Getting back to this, as mentioned earlier, R.C. Sproul states that preterists bear the burden of proving the creedal orthodoxy has been wrong in eschatological understanding. This shows that even committed defenders of preterism see the issue with full preterists. I want to give the strongest version of the preterist case its due, though. There is real scholarly argument that the Hebrew prophets use cosmic dissolution language as a literary convention for political upheaval. Isaiah uses it for Babylon. Ezekiel uses it for Egypt. The preterist argues the New Testament inherits this convention, and that's a fair argument. The problem is that the New Testament pairs this cosmic imagery with specific concrete events that have no parallel in Hebrew tradition. Angels with trumpets gathering the elect from the four winds, the visible return of Acts in 1:11, the bodily resurrection in 1 Corinthians 15, and the convention can explain the imagery. It cannot explain the events the New Testament places it alongside. So I guess that'll be it. I've used up my entire time, so thank you.
Yep. Thank you for your opening statement, Godless Engineer. Both opening statements were very good. So now we're going to move on to the open discussion portion of the debate. This section belongs to both of you, so it's not either of you's like time. It's shared between the both of you, and this will be the time for you to establish your position and tear apart your opponent's position. So with that, I'm going to set the timer for it's going to be 32 minutes, and it starts now.
All right. Do you want to go first, Godless, or do you want me to go first? I don't really care.
Well, so I mean, I don't know. I guess what I took away, your opening statement's kind of what I expected to see. As the fact that I feel like I handled some of most of your opening statement there. I was taking plenty of notes over here. But I mean, honestly, the ad hoc reinterpretation of these prophecies into metaphor, or trying to tie them to the Old Testament seems a bit unjustified to me. So I'm just wondering if you can, maybe further explain why they're not unjustified and how you reconcile those specific New Testament claims with the Old Testament.
Well, I mean, the one that you spoke on, that being the Acts 9 through 11, I would like to talk about that. Okay. So, I'm going to read Acts 9 through 11. So now, when he had spoken these things while they watched, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. While they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, who also said, Men of Galilee, why do you stand gazing into heaven? This same Jesus who was taken up into heaven will come in like manner as you saw him go into heaven.
Right.
Okay, so how did they see him enter heaven?
He levitated from the ground up to heaven, and so they're expecting him to come back down from heaven.
Yes, but okay. So, do you think when in this heaven, are they using that to refer to the sky or some metaphysical place?
Oh, it was definitely the sky. See, in early Christian and Jewish Christian, which is what that would be in right there. Early Jewish Christian cosmology, they believed in the firmament over the earth. They believed in a geocentric earth. They did believe in a spherical earth. However, they had long shed the flat Earth kind of ideas, but they still believed in a very physical firmament of the Earth, and the divine realm, or the divine part of the cosmos, was definitely in the sublunar heavens, right? So like that's why Jesus is figured as going up into the clouds, because that's where the gods were, right? That's where other divine beings were. And we've actually got evidence of this in Paul's writings. I believe it's maybe 2 Corinthians. He talks about being called up by God to the third heaven, where paradise was, right? So like it was a very physical place that he was called up to, and it's a very physical place that the paradise existed in. So even we've even got evidence of Paul, which predates Acts by a lot, of believing in these things. So yeah, he was ascending up into the heavens on the clouds, and he was going to be returning from the heavens, in the same manner.
So, but what I'm asking is, when it says heaven, it is talking about the place where the gods dwell?
Right.
Okay, and he enters that in a cloud out of their sight.
Right.
So, and that would be what the same manner would be referencing, he would come in a cloud out of their sight.
Right. He would come on a cloud from the firmament.
Yes, but like we know that this coming in the clouds language is references in the Old Testament this like temporal judgment on a nation or a city. So, and out of their sight, if he's gonna return in a cloud out of their sight, that would be saying he's gonna return in judgment, coming in the clouds, the same language that they used in the Old Testament.
Yeah, but this is not tied to the Old Testament. You would need to linguistically show that this was something that's being referred to in the Old Testament. And I would think that you would need to connect it to the Septuagint version, considering Luke Acts was probably using that alongside the other Gospels, right? So, I mean, you would need to show linguistic dependency on it as opposed to that. But there's also my critique in my opening there that does grant you the fact that that kind of imagery was used in the Old Testament. But while it can explain the imagery that's used, and maybe that is a connection, what it can explain is the fact that it was definitely that the early Jewish Christians and Christians were definitely expecting a very visible return, right? It was definitely expecting a visible return of Jesus.
Yeah, but I mean, Acts 1:9-11 isn't saying that though.
Yeah, because, I mean the Greek words that are used there in order to describe all that is definitely communicating that they are expecting the same manner, right? It's supposed to come in the same manner.
Yeah, and that manner would be in a cloud out of their sight.
Right, but like a cloud in the sky, not like a cloud on the heels of Roman boots. Like that's a stretch. Like that's eisegesis. Do you know the difference between exegesis and eisegesis?
Well, no, I do understand the difference, but okay. What I'm saying is the author and the audience of Acts would have read the Old Testament. You don't think the audience of Acts would have read the Old Testament?
No, I think that they did know the Old Testament, but all that doesn't detract from the fact that they resoundingly reject this notion, like in 2 Timothy. I know that wasn't written by Paul, it's pseudo-Paul, but still, it communicates that even in the 2nd century, they were refuting this idea that Jesus had already returned in some kind of mysterious way, either through the Roman occupation or otherwise. So, I mean, even by the 2nd century, which is outside of your 70 CE timeframe there, they were refuting this idea that Jesus had already returned in the second coming.
Well, like in 2 Timothy, like we would both agree the author is pretending to be Paul, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
So, would he be speaking as Paul?
I mean, they were definitely writing in a Christian tradition, and they affixed Paul's name to it to give it some kind of like authority. But it doesn't. So I'm not trying to argue for like any kind of like Pauline dependence necessarily. What I'm just saying is that these were Christians that were writing the epistle, and they were and the things that they were writing are resoundingly refuting full preterism.
Yeah, I mean, like, one being that, like you said, I don't think Paul wrote Timothy, but that doesn't matter. If the author of Timothy is pretending to be Paul, he's writing in a pre-70 AD framework.
No, but the fact that they were writing in the 2nd century, right? I get that they're writing in a pre-70 framework, but the fact that they are writing in the 2nd century and they're talking about, you know, this this particular heresy that's going around, they wouldn't need to write about that if it wasn't 70. So, because it doesn't even work on your summary there, because there would be no need for them to talk about how the resurrection hasn't come yet, right? So,
Well, like I said, I would look at it as the fact that this is somebody pretending to be Paul and would be writing in the framework of the resurrection having not happened yet, because Paul was unalived before the resurrection happened.
well, I don't think that there's any kind of clear indication as to when they were supposedly writing in 2nd Timothy. I could be wrong about that. I would have to do a little bit of research on the language that's used throughout 2nd Timothy and everything. But I'm not sure if they really had it in mind to make it pre-70, or if they even knew when Paul was unalived.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure the majority of scholars agree it was during the Neronian persecution, which would have been before set, because Titus was the one who attacked the temple, so that would have to be before the Roman-Jewish War, and like Paul would have to have been unalived before then, so they would have to have been writing in that framework of a pre-Roman Jewish War Paul, because Paul, as I said,
I'm sorry, did you finish your thought? I'm not sure if you finished your thought. I get that you're wanting 2 Timothy to be written in a pre-70 time frame, so that negates my argument about it. But I think the fact that they made sure to include that by the 2nd century, I think that was pretty indicative of the prevalence of that particular theology and how wrong the mainstream Christians thought it was.
yeah, I mean, I do get what you're saying, but like I said, it would had to have been. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to repeat what I just said. So I mean, I get what you're saying, that it wasn't written by Paul, but the people who were writing the text were in that it would have to have been in that framework, or they couldn't have been pretending to be Paul.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is that it makes no sense for them to even put that into 2 Timothy if they weren't responding to it. It's much like how the Gospel of Matthew invents Roman soldiers at the tomb, and they are definitely, Matthew's definitely writing in a 30s time frame, but they create the Roman soldiers at the tomb so that it can respond to the idea that the body was just stolen by the apostles or the disciples, right? So they concocted the Roman soldiers at the tomb so that it would prevent anybody from stealing it, and therefore it really was an angel that came down and announced Jesus's resurrection. And everything. So, I mean, it does have, my particular position does have weight, I guess, in the wider Christian corpus, as opposed to, I feel like most of your position requires like sort of ad hoc claims that these are actually metaphorical, when for all intents and purposes, the actual Greek that's used and the sentiments that are conveyed are very physical, visible, and cosmic. Like,
Yeah, I
as
mean,
in everybody would be able to see it, like everybody of the earth.
like I said, I gave my answer to that. I don't really want to. I mean, we can stay on this, but we only have 20 minutes. So if you want to ask me a question, I mean that's fine.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I did ask my question. Like, or I guess maybe I made a statement. Maybe I could form it in a question. How is your position just not a bunch of ad hoc claims in a trench coat?
Well, I mean, because this is I don't see this cosmic. I do see cosmic language in the text, but it fits with the apocalyptic language that the Jews used at the time. So I mean, I don't think it is ad hoc.
Well, so for the imagery, like I said in my statement, the imagery of it definitely is covered by your Hebrew Bible, sort of the Septuagint like stuff, right? But the very specific physical claims are the things that are not accounted for here, right? Because it makes several physical claims. Hold on, let me just go back up into my notes about full preterism, because it's not just Christ's visible return on the clouds, right? The Son of Man's return on the clouds. It's also a resurrection of the dead and the final judgment in the year 70. So I'm just kind of curious, in your particular view, what is the resurrection of the dead? How are you interpreting that from the existing content?
Yeah, so the resurrection of the dead, like I would sort of tie it to Ezekiel 37, that being like the resurrection of Israel or the covenant into the new covenant. These people were dead under the law and were raised into the new covenant where there's no more sin and no more spiritual death.
Well, yeah, but see, the text is talking about a literal resurrection of the dead, much like in Matthew, where the dead walk out of the tomb, right? This is a physical resurrection. It should be visible to everybody, but I didn't get into my actual historical stuff. But Josephus records nothing that comports with this view of the New Testament. Tacitus, he records similar things that Josephus does, and he doesn't report anything remotely even close to what the New Testament expects. And then Cassius Dio also specifically accounts for the siege and focuses on military events and portents tied to Vespasian's accession, but he doesn't record anything either. Which I know that you're saying that all of this is kind of done on the down low, but again, that just kind of seems like an ad hoc rescue attempt for the claims of the New Testament.
Well, I would say you and I would agree that the word parousia is tied to the coming of a king. Correct? It's like a presence or a dignitary. Would we agree on that? Sorry, can you repeat that? So the parousia, that word in Greek, is usually used for the coming of a Caesar or just some sort of dignitary. The coming of them. It's like an idiom for that. Right. Would we agree with that on that?
I agree that it's meant for a very physical coming of somebody. Giggity.
Giggity. So Christ says multiple times in the Gospels that his kingdom is not of this world. You won't be able to see it here. You won't.
Sorry, I know that you're. Oh, sorry, your mic cut out real quick. Are you saying that it's not a physical place?
No, the kingdom of God is not physical. No. Christ says that. So,
like I said before, Paul in his official epistles, authentic epistles, definitely regards the sublunar heavens to be like a real physical place that you can go to that is inhabited by Satan and his demons and everything like that. The wider Jewish Christian theology definitely has And you could actually go to, I believe it's Joel Baden for the cosmology of early Christians and of the Jews. But it definitely had a physical layer of heaven, and it only as you do. Do you agree that there are multiple levels of heaven?
I mean, I would say that is a position that the biblical authors held. Yes.
Okay, so as you go up higher in the levels of heaven, it becomes more and more incorporeal, more divine. The lower parts of heaven, the sublunar parts of heaven, were physical places that were inhabited by divine entities. Mostly, it's going to be like Satan and his demons that are inhabiting that layer of the heavens. But this is all in the context of early Jewish Christian literature. You've got the apocalypse of Moses, no, it's not the apocalypse of Moses. It's the apocalypse of Abraham or something. I don't know. Anyways, there's an early first century Christian work that actually has the very physical place up there. You've also got the Ascension of Isaiah that in its earliest redaction also has a very physical layer to the cosmology. So it's all over the Jewish Christian corpus that we have this sort of understanding of a physical divine layer is where it starts, and it gets more corporeal as it moves up.
So I'm not talking about heaven. I'm talking about the kingdom of heaven that Christ talks about that is at hand and that is near. Christ isn't talking about some place in the sky. He's talking about. Is that what you think Christ is talking about there?
I think it's what the Jewish Christians understood in the first century. You've also got Hebrews. I forgot to mention Hebrews. Hebrews actually mentions this same kind of sublunar heavens ascension. And there, it's a lot more specific in that these sublunar heavens, these divine layers to heaven, they actually have physical places like temples and everything like that. And there's even some parts where it suggests, that Jesus was entering into those particular temples and purifying those. And the ones that are here down on earth were actually the dirty copies of the things that really existed in the heavens. So, I mean, we have that cosmology in an adjacent Pauline group. So, I mean, I feel like it's all over the early first century Christian corpus.
Yeah,
Almost like porpoise.
What I'm saying is that you think Christ is saying that this sublunar place is going to come down to the earth? Is that what you're saying?
No. First of all, I don't think
Christ heaven then that Christ is talking about when he tells them that it's at hand, and when he tells Pilate his kingdom is not of this world, or you will not be able to say here it is or there it is. What is Christ talking about there?
He's talking about the divine realm, but that doesn't mean that the divine realm is not physical. The divine realm is a physical place and that's why Christ, at the end of Acts and in some of the Gospels where he ascends up into heaven, right? He physically ascends up into heaven. That we've got multiple different artistic depictions of Christ ascending into heavens, ascending into the clouds. We've got multiple artistic depictions of Yahweh sitting on the clouds, using the earth as a footrest. We've even got that, I believe, in one of the biblical texts describes the earth as the footrest of God, right? So, like, we have this very physical description of the heavens. I mean, if the heavens weren't meant to be physical, maybe you can answer me this. If it was never meant to be physical, and the divine realm was some kind of other dimensional spiritual realm, that's not at all perceptible by us whatsoever, why was the Tower of Babel built?
Yeah, I don't think the tower. I don't take that as literal. I don't think it's literal.
Okay. Well, still, even within the story, like, it doesn't have to be literal, but within the story, God destroys the Tower of Babel and confuses the tongues so that they wouldn't build in a giant tower up to the heavens. It has a very physical understanding of the heavens there. So it doesn't have to be a literal story or even a real story, but within the story, it is coherent to say that they considered the heavens to be a physical place.
And if that were to be the case, if they did think the heavens were a physical place, why would Christ say that you cannot say here it is or there it is? Because if there was a place up in the sky, you could say, well, here it is right here up in the sky.
Well, they couldn't get the sky was an unattainable place to them, right? I mean, they couldn't fly, they couldn't build anything. You can only stack shit so high, right? So like, there's no way that they were able to get up into the sky, but they did have a very physical sense of the sky, right? They had a very physical sense of a very physical sense of the firmament that was up there, right?
Yeah, but like then you would be able to say here it is. It's in the sky. You could still say that. You can still say here it is or there it is. Christ says you can't say that about his kingdom.
Well, no. I mean, true. I mean, Christ's kingdom was up in the heavens, and I think that the reason why you wouldn't be able to see it is because the firmament's in the way, right? Like if I point you towards a wall, unless you're Superman, you're not seeing past that wall, right?
Yes, but like even if like let's say there's a car on the other side of this wall here, I would be able to say, well, there the car is. It's over there. Even if you can't see it, I can still say here it is or there it is.
Right, but you wouldn't be able to. Yeah, it would be an incorrect statement to say that you could see the car through the wall.
Yeah, but Christ doesn't say that you like. Christ says you cannot say here it is or there it is. Like that's pretty clear. It's not a physical place. Like I'm not sure what.
Where's this? Like what book, chapter, verse is this?
Let me find it. Where is that verse? One second, let me look it up. I guess I thought it was there.
But I guess while we're waiting, thank you for the taps, guys, and hopefully everyone can tap your screens, like the live, and share it with whoever you think might be interested. Let's try to get to 20K taps. Thank you, guys.
Luke 17. Luke 17:21. Nor will they say, here it is, or there it is, for the kingdom of God is within you.
Okay.
So, like, not only Christ says the kingdom of God dwells within, it's not a physical place.
Sorry. What? Where? Luke what?
Luke 17:21.
Luke 17:21.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Nor will they say, behold. No, I don't want to subscribe. Nor will they say, behold, here or there, behold, for the kingdom of God in the midst of you it is. Let's see. In the midst. Instos. Intos. Still, I think that even though that it seems to be using metaphorical language to talk about the kingdom of God, I think that it definitely is talking about like the shared brotherhood between Christians, but that doesn't detract from Acts 9-11, where it talks about how you are to expect him to come the exact same way that he left, right? I don't think it detracts from that.
Well, I mean, as I've said before, the angels tell the disciples that he will come in like manner, and that being in a cloud out of their sight, which again ties to the judgment language, the coming in the clouds. So I mean, like that doesn't follow.
No, I mean what doesn't follow is that you're saying that the imagery is a replacement for the very physical claims that it makes. I mean, it makes the claims that this is going to be viewed by everybody, right? I mean, that's at least my understanding of the text, is that this should be visible for everyone, right? It's very physical and visible coming on the clouds from the heavens.
Are you referencing? Is it Revelation 1:7?
Let me check my notes real quick. Well, let's see. There's Revelation 3:17, which describes the church at Laodicea as saying, "I am rich, I have prospered, and I need nothing." Historically, they suffered major earthquake in 60 to 61. Tested by Tacitus, the city famously refused imperial aid. Let's see, that's Revelation 3:17 reference there. Let's see, that's not the one that you're looking for. Let's see. This is dumb. Let's see. Internal evidence from Revelation itself, particularly the description of the Laodicean church, fits a post-70 date since Laodicea was devastated by an earthquake in AD 60. Would not have recovered or prospered, described in Revelation 3:17.
So, like in Revelation 1:7, it says, "Behold, he is coming with clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn because of him, even so, amen." I think that's what you were talking about.
Okay.
But one thing I would say is, like, we have to understand audience relevancy. John is writing this to like people in the Okomene, in the inhabited lands, in the Roman Empire, in the surrounding regions. So yes, they would, and like the sea there, like, it doesn't necessarily have to mean visible. It can be like, it can mean understanding. That's in its semantic range. So I mean, and again, the coming on the clouds language, that ties back to Acts 1, and then to the Old Testament, where this isn't supposed to be physical. It's supposed to be a judgment.
Okay.
Yes.
So Daniel 7:13 does describe an approach towards the Ancient of Days. The Olivet Discourse recontextualizes the language in a different direction. Matthew 24:30 has the Son of Man coming with the power and great glory, immediately sending angels to gather the elect. The direction of the movement in Matthew is from heaven toward earth. The tribes of earth see him, which is the opposite of Daniel 7, approach toward the heavenly throne. Additionally, Acts 1:11 describes this, right? So that's actually part of a context stripping fallacy, is what my notes say right here. I would agree that Jesus is drawing on Daniel's Son of Man imagery in this section, but I feel like what you're doing is you're reading the source while ignoring the adaptation in this. Sorry, I'm just reading from the notes that I have, my more extensive notes on just all of preterism. In Daniel 7, the Son of Man approaches the Ancient Days. He goes up towards God's throne to receive authority. In Matthew 24, the Son of Man comes towards earth. The tribes of the earth mourn because they see him, and he sends angels to gather the elect from the four winds. The direction has been reversed. It's not enthronement, it's a return. And then, of course, there's the Acts 1:11 that I mentioned. Jesus goes up into heaven, and the angel says he'll come back the same way. So that's not that's not up to the throne language. That is coming down to the earth language, which is different than what Daniel has.
Yes, but the context of it is, one, the cloud language in the Old Testament, but also the
Finish up your last sentence.
the non-visibleness of Acts 1, it being in the clouds out of their sight.
Okay. And with that, we're going to have to cut it off there. That's going to be the open section segment of the debate. Now we're going to move on to closing statements. During your closing statements, this is the time for you guys to summarize everything that happened in the debate and give the audience a reason why they should believe you won the debate. So it's ultimately your closing statement, your synopsis, your summary, your final chance to win the audience over. But cool. You're basically going to get, I believe, let me check really quick. Should be 5 minutes. Yep, you're going to get 5 minutes on the clock, and it starts whenever you say your first word.
All right, so as we talked about in Acts 1, 9 through 11, the angels, not only do they clearly tell the disciples not to gaze into heaven, because that's not how Christ is coming down, they also tie it to the coming in the clouds language, which is judgment, and also they say it will not be visible; it will be in the clouds, out of their sight. That like the people who wrote this would have been reading the Old Testament. They would have understood this. They would have understood how the language is used, and on top of that, a couple of things I wanted to mention that we didn't get to, that being the language of the clouds, of the sun, moon, and stars falling. That's also in Isaiah. It is talking about Babylon. It's talking about kings and political leaders and nations being destroyed. This is normal language that they used when talking about this stuff. We didn't really get to talk about, but I know, or at least I'm fairly sure from other conversations we had, Gauss Engineer, I believe, thinks that there was a lot of Zoroastrian influence. We didn't get to talk about that on the Hellenistic people in the first century, but my response to that would be, do you think that Zoroastrianism would have been stronger than the Old Testament context that they had? I don't believe so. This was their scriptures. So another thing being the resurrection, again, like the people, the resurrection from the dead. We know again that the word, the dead, the semantic range of that word, it can mean physically dead. Christ uses it when he says that let the dead bury the dead. That Christ is clearly using that word to speak of covenantal death.
Is your mic okay, Cole?
These who were under a law of sin and death, Paul calls the law the ministry of death, I believe is what Paul says. So, in Christ being the ministry of life, this is pretty clear. Christ tells Martha when she's talking to him about the death of her brother Lazarus that she says, "I know he will be raised in the last day," and Christ tells her, "I am the resurrection. Those who believe in me, even if will live, even if they die." So I mean, this is clearly covenantal and talking about spiritual death, the heaven and earth. That link with the heaven and earth being destroyed, like in Matthew 5, 17 through 18, that's being tied to the temple. They didn't know about a earth, again, as I said earlier. They didn't know of the physical, or they didn't know of the other continents. Their land, or their cosmos, or their world was the Roman Empire. That is what it's talking about. We can't take that context out of this. It just makes it nonsense, in my opinion, to say they thought this stuff was going to be cosmic when they didn't even have that good of an understanding of what cosmic even would have been. I don't see that. What else? Again, like I said, when talking about the resurrection, Paul does call Christ the first fruits of the resurrection, but when talking about what kind of bodies they will get, he uses the seed analogy. He does not tie this to Christ's resurrection, no matter what type of resurrection you think Christ, whether it be physical or spiritual, he does not say you will get the same body as Christ. So I don't see where we can think this is even like some sort of spiritual like corpse body resurrection. It doesn't make any sense. And again, as I also previously said, body has a semantic range because Paul uses it for the body of Christ. It can mean covenantal corporate body. And with that, I relinquish my time.
Okay, thank you for your closer. I think you did a very good job, Cole. Godless Engineer, you're going to get 5 minutes to do your closing statement. It starts when you say your first word.
So, full preterism is based on is refuted by two basic pillars. One is the historical record. The other is the New Testament text. The New Testament requirements for full preterism, for the second coming of Christ and all that, are very specific in that they require a physical return of Jesus on the clouds, a physical falling stars from the sky, a physical resurrection of bodies, a very physical resurrection of dead people, raising up of dead people. And so there's just simply not any of that. There's supposed to be a universally visible son of man on the clouds. There's supposed to be a very visible cosmic darkening seen from every part of the empire. There's supposed to be angels with trumpets gathering the elect that everybody sees. And like I said, no bodies leaving graves. We have no historical records of any of these things actually happening. So that's why the rescue in this situation is to turn it from very concrete physical claims to metaphorical claims to spiritual dimensions. The rescue of the New Testament text has to occur in the metaphor. It has to occur because otherwise Christianity is wrong and Jesus failed to return when he said he was going to return. If he doesn't rescue it, then Paul was wrong in saying that the end is nigh and that the end will be coming soon. So the rescue attempt here is merely to preserve the theology of Christianity, to maintain that Jesus was actually the Messiah and did not give false prophecies. I think that trying to rescue this theology based on metaphor, trying to connect it to the Old Testament, is just an ad hoc rescue of the faith. I think that applying the metaphor of the Old Testament, how it describes those things, and paste it onto the claims of the New Testament is doing a real disservice here, primarily because the New Testament has concrete claims about what should be expected, as opposed to the Old Testament that does have all of this imagery to explain the things that had happened. I think that Cole has put forth possibly one of the better full preterist arguments in the debate tonight, but I still think that the best full preterist argument is still lacking because it requires ad hoc rescues of the text, and the partial preterism being the stronger position of the two, is routinely discussed in the literature by other preterists like R.C. Sproul, who said that the burden of proving the creedal orthodoxy has been wrong in its eschatological understanding. He has to prove that they were wrong from the very beginning. He failed to rescue 2 Timothy by just arbitrarily what it seems like to me, putting it prior to 70 or saying that they had the intent to write it at that time. I think that there would be no reason to write about this failed full preterism in the 2nd century if it wasn't already something that was going around and being discussed. We see this in other aspects of the Gospels, like with the Romans at the tomb entrance in Matthew. I think that this full preterist view is built upon a bunch of ad hoc claims. It is essentially a bunch of ad hoc claims in a trench coat. Because he has nothing to support that these things actually happened in the way that they did. And that's why this full preterism position is convincing to some people, because it's unfalsifiable, right? You can't falsify the notion that Jesus mysteriously came down or something like that. You can't falsify that God used the Romans to overtake Jerusalem, and the clouds from the heels of the Romans were the clouds that Jesus was supposed to come on, and that and that Jesus, coming back at that time in 70 was the thing that was originally meant by the Jewish Christians and Paul. I think all of these are specious claims with no underlying support, and I just totally disagree with the idea that the debate is on.
And that's going to conclude the closing statement for Godless Engineer. And with that, guys, that's going to conclude the entire debate. Briefly, I'm going to put up a poll in a couple of seconds. So you, the audience, can vote on the 61 people in here. You can vote on who you think won the debate. And with that, we are also going to have comments, questions, concerns, and critiques. Godless Engineer and Cole, you guys don't have to stay the entire time, but we might have some people in the audience who might want to ask both of you guys questions in regards to the debate that just happened. So, yeah, let me start the poll, and then we'll do comments, questions, concerns, and critiques, and we'll be good to go. So let's see. Custom poll. And it's going to be for 5 minutes. And if you guys notice, there's going to be a blue clipboard right here on the left side of your screen. Just tap that clipboard and basically you can vote for who you thought won the debate. You guys get to decide who won the debate. Unfortunately, moderators can't vote. So sorry about that, mods, but everybody else can. But with that, we're going to move on to comments, questions, concerns, and critiques. Request up if you want to talk to both of the debaters. And yeah. Right now, we don't really have any guest requests, but yeah, request up if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or critiques.
Thank you for hosting, Nick, Coco, Godless Engineer. I appreciate you debating me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having the debate, and us coming to this debate, in a very calm fashion where we weren't throwing harmful rhetoric around.
Yep. And BB, you can go ahead and give your comments, questions, concerns, or critiques. I'll give you 3 minutes on the clock.
Okay, I've never done this before, but I just, am I okay to talk about, because I'm a preterist, so is that okay for me to express a view or bring up scripture or...
Or I would say right now is just right now is the time for you to ask any of them questions or give comments or give critiques on the debate that just happened.
Okay, so Godless, could you explain to me 1 John 2:18?
1 John 2:18?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know it by heart, so hold on.
That's fine.
Let's see.
While we're waiting
which version do you like to read?
It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And while we're waiting for that, everyone, if you could, please tap your screens, like the live, and share it with whoever you think might be interested. And thank you for the likes. We got to 16.5K. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, so children, it is the last hour. As you have heard, the Antichrist is coming. So now many Antichrists have come. From this, we know that it is the last hour. Okay? I don't see how this really applies at all. Like, Christians have been saying this since Jesus supposedly unalived.
Well, I'm just wondering how John could be in the last hour.
He doesn't deny the imminence, Babalu. He denies the nature of what the events are supposed to be like. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, so I totally agree that the New Testament expects the second coming of Christ soon. But I what I'm adhering to is just like the literal physical coming of Christ, as opposed to a more metaphorical like interpretation of these statements.
Right. I guess where my kingdom comes without observation. So you're not going to be able to observe the kingdom.
How would one falsify that? I'm just curious.
Falsify what? That the kingdom comes without observation?
Yeah.
I don't see how you could. I mean, it's pretty plain. It's gonna come without observation, which means you're not gonna see it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the problem. It's unfalsifiable. I mean, I could say that a pink gremlin exists under my desk. Would you be able to prove me wrong?
Right, but he says the kingdom is within you. You don't have a literal building that you're going to see that's going to be within your human body, right? So we know that's spiritual and not a physical kingdom.
So you don't adhere to the idea that there is a heaven?
And finish up your last sentence, and we do have to move on.
Yeah,
to the next
not probably the same as you. But thank you for having me up. I enjoyed it. Great job, Cole. Love you. Thank you guys. Host and Goddess. Thank you. Take care.
Yep. You have a good one.
Thanks, Babs.
And then our next guest is going to be oh, hold on. Give me one sec. Hang tight real quick, EJ. What? I thought Seer was requesting. Wait, won't it let me accept him? Okay. Well, Seer, request again if you want to come up. But EJ Watt, you got 3 minutes for comments, questions, concerns, or critiques in regards to the debate that just happened.
I came in late, so I don't know much. I didn't catch the debate, but so I'm guessing there's no denial about the end times, I guess, between either of y'all. Just the concept of, you know. But I got a quick question though. Would y'all agree that Matthew 8 would have to come about before the true revelation was to happen? Because like we know, there's gonna be multiple like antichrists, but like the true revelations, like Matthew 8 would have to be established, right?
I'm not sure what Matthew 8 says. What is it? Can you summarize?
Yeah, I can summarize. Matthew 8 is when he's talking to the centurion, and Christ's sake, no, I've never met anyone in Israel as good as faith as you. And he says that the East and the West will sit at the table of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his kingdom will not be in there, and national team. Now, we can assume that the East has not really sat at the table, right? Can we properly assume that, like, when it comes to the end times?
No, I believe the end times is completely fulfilled. Every part of the end times has been fulfilled by 70 AD.
I mean, yeah, but okay. Now, is that when we talk about fulfilled? Do we mean like how like Hosea 4 and 2 Timothy chapter 3 is synonymous type ending, or what ending we're talking about?
No, I mean, I think Jesus already returned. The Antichrist was defeated. All that, like the final judgment, the resurrection, all of it.
Okay, well, okay. What about Hosea 4? Was that the changing of the end times when Christ came? What Hosea 4 was addressing?
What does Hosea 4 say?
Basically, it says the same thing 2 Timothy chapter 3 says, in just a different way, right? So,
Could you read it?
2 Timothy chapter 3 is the signs of the end times, right? So the signs is the same concept that Hosea 4 was talking about when he had a problem with. I think the chapter's called "My Personal Problem with." I can't remember what it was called, but it's something like "My Problem with the People" or something like that.
But what does the verse? I could flip to it, but where in 2 Timothy are you talking about?
2 Timothy chapter 3, because like anytime dealing with the end times, it's like lovers of self, right? So
Finish your last sentence.
Hosea 4 and 2 Timothy chapter 3 kind of start off the same way of lovers of self.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
we do have to end it there and move on to the next guest. But maybe you guys could finish up in the DMs. But thank you for coming up, EJ Watt, and we are going to move on to the next guest. With that, I think, let's see. If this is I am time. You got any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques in regards to the debate that just happened?
Just wanted to, and that's it, short. And host, I want to tell you thank you. I think you've done a wonderful job up here, and I've seen you a couple of times before, and I want to commend you on those as well. So, congrats to you.
Thank you.
To the two people on the panel, I think both of y'all engaged in a really great, proper debate. I really enjoyed how you handled yourself and how you interacted with one another. My only critique would be that, Cole, I think you allowed Godless to control your response times too much. You let him control your time and speak on your behalf. And my critique to Godless would be that the debate was, is it biblical, not is it true? And
I did handle that, though.
Yeah.
I did address that. That's why I fast forwarded through the historical part and focused on the New Testament part.
For that reason alone, I would be voting for Cole. But you did a good job, man.
Here's what I don't understand there, I am time, is that I specifically fast forwarded through the historical part so that I didn't focus on that, so that I could focus on the part that Cole was focusing on. And you seem to go deaf at that point, right?
Well, no, it's not that, sir. It's that the debate wasn't about that. You was off topic because you was.
I was not off topic. I moved past the historical part and I focused on the actual New Testament claims and what is required on full preterism. I focused on that. I didn't mention. I had a whole 2 or 3 paragraphs about the anti-historical nature of it that I skipped over so that I could focus on the New Testament part. So it kind of seems to me like all you did was listen to the parts that you didn't want to. That you wanted to score against me, and then you failed to listen to the parts where I actually addressed Cole's claims.
No, I heard you address Cole's claims, sir. This is
okay. Then don't say I didn't.
I thought you did it.
Don't say that I didn't.
Oh no! You just didn't answer them properly. You was trying to prove preterism false, not biblical.
No. I was proving preterism was unbiblical. That's the reason why I brought up several different passages from it, right?
Yes, unbiblical though. You was trying to prove it false.
No. I was trying to prove it unbiblical because it's not because of the biblical requirements.
No, well, to me, sir, you was trying to prove it false. Not unbiblical.
So I clearly stated that early Christianity rejected preterism. Specifically, I mentioned it in 2 Timothy.
Yes, no, I agree with you. But I don't think you did a really good enough job. You focused more on trying to prove it was false than unbiblical.
Nope,
in my opinion,
I focused on the biblical nature of it. That's what I did. Yeah. So you're just delusional.
Why are you insulting me just because I come up to give you a critique, bro? Calm down. I thought you.
No, your critique is blind.
Okay, you're welcome to your opinion. Host, thank you again. You can drop me down.
Oh, and with that, we're gonna move on to the next. Comments, concerns, questions, or critiques. Let me see. I'm gonna do this guy. Oh, okay. I guess that guy didn't work. Let me do this person. They were commenting a lot. Hey, KG. How you doing today? You got any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques?
Yeah, you don't gotta put a timer on me. I just got a really quick question. Cole, you did great. Godless Engineer, I don't think you understand it. I like your channel though. I'm an atheist too. All right, tell these fucking crying Christians to shut up in the comments though. Stop fucking preaching. All right, good job, Cole.
Oh, and thank you for coming up.
KG.
And then let me see. Let me start at the top. And AEC, you got any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques in regards to the debate that just happened?
Well, I just came in here and I was listening, but I thought the prompt was interesting. So I don't think I've heard enough yet. Are you only doing one panelist at a time?
Right now we just finished a formal debate, and so we're just getting like the audience comments, questions, concerns, or critiques over the debate that happened.
Okay, I don't think I heard enough of it. So if you want to drop me, it's okay.
Okay, but come back after, and I'll be hosting like a live or like a regular
Okay, honey.
panel. And then the next person, by the way, I think both people did very good. And also keep in mind that, you know, the audience vote, it can be skewed given like how many people are in here and like people's personal biases. So typically like when we have judges, the judges vote is a little bit more accurate, but that can be flawed too. But audience vote is kind of like, you know, it depends who votes, how they vote, and all sorts of different stuff like that. But let me see. Okay. Guess I'll do TV. TV, you got any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques over the debate that just happened?
Thanks for letting me Coco. And yes, I have a question because I came in kind of late. Can y'all give me a short preview or answer on what Atheism is?
I can.
Well, okay. Yes, answer that question, but this is a period for comments, questions, concerns, or critiques over the debate that just happened earlier.
So yeah, I think Jesus returned. I think all eschatological events occurred in the first century with the destruction of the Second Temple. That being Jesus' return, the resurrection, the final judgment, all that. So that's a short answer.
Can you give me, like, what does that mean exactly?
That means that there's no future judgment coming. There's no, that we are in the kingdom now. This is the kingdom age. I'm a universalist also, so I mean, there's that. I don't know. I mean, like, it just means there's no future prophecy in the Bible to come true.
So, okay. So, are y'all, was y'all saying essentially that we wouldn't need repentance and anything to get God's grace?
I don't believe so. Godless Engineer is an atheist, but I mean, I would say no, we don't need that.
Is that what preterism it means, that you don't need?
Preterism just means it's a Latin word. Preterism, it means past, because I think all the events were in the past.
Yeah, there's full preterism and partial preterism, with partial preterism being the stronger position.
So what's the stronger position? Can you explain that for me then?
No, I prepared for full preterism. Partial preterism, I guess, would be it's partially been fulfilled, but they're still waiting on the coming of Christ.
Okay. So it's basically it's about like the prophecies that was fulfilled or not fulfilled.
Well, specifically the end times prophecies, the eschatological
end time prophecies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are y'all on the leaning end of Jesus never really fulfilled too many prophecies, if not none of them?
I do think that Jesus was the Messiah and all that. So I mean, I think everything, like I said, everything to be fulfilled was fulfilled by 70 AD.
Okay, finish your last statement.
Okay, thank you. That's pretty much all my questions for right now. I wish I was here to hear it. Coco usually has some good lives.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I work really hard on these live streams. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna drop you, but maybe after the comments, questions, concerns, and critiques, I'm gonna host like a regular live.
Okay, thank you.
Coach, do you have any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques? And I hope you're doing okay today.
Yes, thank you. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing good too. Thank you for running the debate, by the way. It was, we rarely get to see good debates. So my my question is for Godless. So, Godless, you brought up 2 Timothy 2, which I think was your strongest argument in the debate, and also Acts 1, which are the two. I think those are the two hardest points for preterists to answer. So, my question to you is, if the believers at that time that were hearing the message of Hymenaeus and Philetus were believing the message, right? Then why would they believe it if there isn't literal physical bodies raised up from the dead? Why are the believers still dying physically if what the Christians were being taught was a literal physical resurrection? It wouldn't be believable. All Paul would have had to say, or whoever is writing this, right, is, guys, there's no physical bodies coming out of the ground. But because these people were believing the message, then maybe the understanding of what full preterism believes, which is a covenantal resurrection, is what was being taught in the first century. And because Hymenaeus and Philetus were teaching this, that some people had that the resurrection had already occurred, the covenantal resurrection, then it makes sense why some people were believing it. So can you answer why Paul didn't answer in that way, and why some of the Christians were believing in a resurrection if it was supposed to be a physical resurrection, like you say?
Well, I mean, Paul describes it as a physical resurrection, and all for all intents and purposes, it is described as a physical resurrection. But also, we don't know what they were preaching exactly. We don't know if they were preaching like the full preterist view or anything like that as far as like the resurrection goes. You have to take into account when these accounts were written as a gauge of like what exactly were the eschatological claims, because like the eschatological claims that we're looking at now are definitely filtered through a lens of Christian councils, right? And so I don't know exactly everything that was believed by the first century Christians. All that I prepared for was what Cole most likely believed, right? And so that would be the full swath of it. But if we're looking to get in time, in the second century right there, I'm not exactly sure what they would have been teaching, but I can say that people could be claiming that the dead were being resurrected, and there would just be no way to falsify it at that time for those
Okay,
people.
just to further on, just before I leave. So in 1 Corinthians 15, you said there was a physical resurrection, which is not what Paul said. He said, in fact, the exact quote is, however, right, it says, it is raised a spiritual body. If there is a natural body, there is also a spiritual body. So Paul says that the body that was being raised was the one that was dying, what was sown dying, was the physical body. And then what was being raised was the spiritual body. And then he likened it to Adam, and then he likened it to the last Adam, which was Jesus Christ. So he said the first was not spiritual, but the natural, then the spiritual. So he doesn't speak of a physical resurrection here in 1 Corinthians 15. In fact, he says flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, nor does the perishable inherit the imperishable. He's clearly talking about a spiritual resurrection, and we know this because the next verse he says some of them will not all sleep.
Are you just going to preach at me? Is that all you're going to do?
Well, you made a claim that there was a physical resurrection spoken by Paul, and there is no such thing.
This is a total mindfuck, by the way. I'm just going to say right now, it's a total mindfuck to hear, people come up here and give me shit for that, considering that I was a Christian for a long time. And the physical resurrection, like of not only Jesus and the physical coming again of Jesus, was something that was taught to me. And in my own research after the fact is something that is believed by the mainstream Christians, and especially the Pauline Christians. It's a total mindfuck to have people come up here and try to preach at me this particular point, right?
Brother, this is the debate, and I was bringing up the point that you brought up, and I'm bringing up the point. You said that it was a physical resurrection in 1 Corinthians 15, but it's okay. Thank you for having me up. God bless. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you for coming up.
Yeah, I don't consent to the God bless thing. But now, Coco, is it okay if I add something right there?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I feel like people need to have a better understanding of what Paul says about our future resurrection bodies, and he describes them in the same way that he described Jesus's sinful body. And so, I mean, I am of the firm belief that Paul considered the spiritual realm to be a physical realm. And it only got incorporeal as you got closer and closer to the upper levels of heaven, like the seventh layer of heaven. This is at least what's communicated outside of the New Testament and the wider Jewish Christian literature, but also by Paul himself, that there was physical layers to heaven, right? So, like, for instance, in the life of Adam and Eve and Seth were all three buried in the third level of heaven where paradise is. So even in the extra biblical, the extra canonical Jewish Christian literature, you have a very physical sense of these heavens, a very physical sense of these beings. So that's just cosmologically, it's just totally wrong. And I think that it's really fucking crazy. It's bonkers to me that I could come out here with citations out of my ass, and all that I get back are just specious ad hoc statements that I didn't address how biblical or unbiblical it was, right? That's just fucking crazy to me. Anyways, go ahead with the next person, I guess.
Okay. And let's see. I'm gonna let Forrest up here. And I'm gonna let Forrest, did you have any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques?
Absolutely. Much like AEC and TTV, I did not watch a moment of this debate. So I'd like to ask who you guys are and what are you doing up here?
Jesus Christ,
We
Forrest.
are out of here.
This is a professional platform, and I'd like to thank you all for your candor. Godless Engineer and Cole, y'all both did a great job, to be honest with you. Cole, I like you, and I know you, Godless Engineer. I think you've done a great job up here as well. I'm not here to debate either of you, like maybe a couple of the previous people were, but kudos to both of you. You guys were clearly well prepared in your arguments. Cole, I thought you could have done a little bit better job of controlling the cross-examination, but I think that you're just an honest person, and you gave your view, and I think y'all both did a good job. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that are in here that are full preterists that are going to vote for you. So at the end of the day, I think that all of these debates should come down to a judge's rule, usually 3 to 5 judges based on an impartial or unbiased, judging system with a rubric. But I think y'all both did a great job. It was very entertaining. You guys both kept your cool. You were calm and collected. You presented your information. You didn't go after each other. So great job to both of you guys. In all reality, I enjoyed the debate, and I hope that you guys come back. And I think both of you did a great job.
Thanks, Forrest. I appreciate it, bro.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good night.
If I can add one thing here, I think the judging is only beneficial if you actually have trained judges in this, instead of just who was personally persuaded. I think the who's personally persuaded by either side is far less profitable of a metric than actual judges. So unless you're going to employ actual judges, then it's really just who was more persuasive to the layman, right? And I don't think that should be the judge of a debate. I'm here for a discussion mainly with Cole, because he wanted a debate or discussion, and I don't see the benefit in trying to get a W or an L. Like, I find value in the conversation rather than who won the debate.
Yeah, I don't think that Cole came up here for that purpose, and I don't think you did either. So I would just honestly ignore the comments, ignore the haters, because win, lose, or draw, you came up here. Y'all both did your thing. You presented substance. You didn't even try to use rhetoric. So at the end of the day, y'all are both winners in my eyes, and I think that y'all should come back and debate other topics again, whether it be with each other or somebody else.
Yeah, at the very least, you guys were willing to debate. Unlike He Is Risen, I Wonder, Dom Dot, some certain.
I'd like to extend a formal debate out to TTV Omni if he can actually find the request button again.
But Robin, do you have any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques over the debate that just happened?
Yes, I do. It's been a minute since I've been on the panel. Coco, hi.
Good to
Hi,
see you.
Godless. I talked to
Hi,
you
Robin.
earlier. And hi, Cole. This is my first introduction to you. So a couple things. I did only catch like the half tail end of the debate. Unfortunately, I want to say that both of you, I felt, did a very good job. When I was a Christian, I was a preterist, so I felt like Cole was making some quality points, but I'm not a preterist anymore, so I voted for Dawn. But I came up because I wanted to. Sorry if you guys are hearing my neighbors, by the way. I don't know what's up with them. I wanted to ask John and Cole, based off my own research, based on my own research I've done, it seems to me that of all of the different Israelite Jewish sects that existed in the Levant at that time, like the Pharisees, the Sadducees, etc., it seems like Jesus's idea of a resurrected body aligned most with the Sadducees, and it would have been perfected, like a perfected physical heavenly body. And I'm trying to wrap my mind around how that works in a preterist mindset where you feel like all of the prophecies, all of the things, all the judgment, all that it has already transpired. I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. If you guys could share your thoughts on Jesus's theological views surrounding the Sadducees, that'd be great.
Yeah, the Sadducees actually denied the idea of resurrection. So I would kind of, because they held kind of like a national resurrection, like the resurrection of the nation of Israel into like back into like the kingdom that they were before, kind of thing. So I would kind of agree that his would have been closest to the Pharisees and the Sadducees, except his was more spiritual. It was the idea of them being raised out of the old covenant and the law into the new covenant. And so that would be my take on it. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. What do you think, John?
Well, I think that Paul had a very physical view of the spiritual aspect of reality. That it was a very physical place that you go to that was inhabited by physical beings. So I would definitely say that the physical body, the physical resurrected body, being made perfect by God. I think that that's perfectly in line with with that view. So I'm not sure which group that aligns with, but I think that that's what Paul thought.
Bet. And with that, we do have to move on to the next guest, but thank you for coming up, Robin.
Yeah, what do we have?
Thank you for having me.
Yep, I appreciate you. Seer, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. Cole Triple H, do you believe John was a preterist?
The Apostle John?
Yeah.
The author of the Gospel or the author of Revelation? The two different Johns.
Yeah, the Gospel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yes.
So, if John the Apostle was a preterist, why do we see pupils of John actually teaching the opposite of preterism?
I don't believe that there. I don't see that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Okay. Well, we have historical writings like Polycarp, who are actually going against preterism in a totality, and actually is saying that there is a bodily resurrection that is occurring, and actually going at some of the kind of the viewpoints that full preterism has. And so my question to you, or if any preterist wants to ask himself in their mind, if John the Apostle was a true preterist, and Polycarp, who we obviously know as a historical pupil to John, is going the opposite of what you believe John is teaching, it doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, like either like one being the only person's word we have to take for the fact that the Polycarp was a disciple of John is Irenaeus, I believe. He says that.
Yeah. So Irenaeus quotes that Polycarp.
It's a super trust me, bro situation.
Sure. Was Irenaeus of Lyoness not a part of the succession of Polycarp?
No, I don't believe in apostolic succession. I believe the church.
You don't necessarily have to, but in your worldview, a fictional line, there is a line in which Irenaeus overlines with Polycarp, and they have a connection in which Irenaeus would know these things.
But like, I believe even if that being the case, that Does Irenaeus not? Because I was a church father guy at one time. Did he not say that he knew that like he watched John teach as like a child? Is that not what it
He
said?
was, yeah, it says he was a hearer and a pupil of John.
So like just because this guy heard John give sermons in John's old age when he was a kid doesn't mean he like that. Yeah, that doesn't add up.
Okay. And with that, we do have to move on to our next guest.
Alrighty.
Let's see. I'll do two more, and then I'm gonna shut down the live, then restart the live to basically have like the after party where we just hang out and talk about like a different topic. And then I'll be editing and posting this on my YouTube channel. So if you're just joining and you missed the debate, which is Godless Engineer versus Cole HH over is full preterism biblical? Right now on YouTube, I am live. So if you go to my YouTube page and you go over to the live tab, you could watch the live recording afterwards. It's going to be there tonight, immediately after I end this live. But I am going to edit it and put like a version that just has like my intro and my outro attached to it and basically the full debate. So, but yeah, I'm gonna do like two more guests and then yeah, we'll call it a day, guys.
Sounds good.
You can drop me if you need.
Shadow, you got any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques over the debate that just happened?
Yes, just for a quick understanding, Godless, when do you, because I'm not familiar with preterism, so, but Godless, you said that you believe that is the prophecy has been fulfilled. When do you, at what time period, when do you think it was fulfilled?
I don't think it was. I'm an atheist.
Oh, I thought you said it was fulfilled. I apologize. So
No,
you
it
don't
was
believe? Okay,
That's
so
what I say.
okay, you believe that it was fulfilled already?
Yes, all prophecy.
Okay. Godless, I wanted to kind of more understand your view, but just for time purposes, I'll say what I get from the bit that I've heard from you guys is it possible that all things are happening at once? So if they was talking about it at some point and now right now we're waking up into the Christ consciousness. So I don't know about the physical, about it being physical, but I agree with what you said, Godless, about going through different realms, the divine realms. And as we get higher in the realms, if I heard correctly, that we more crystallize and lose our physical body. But for the next steps, so is it possible that maybe both things are true, that it's happened in the past and is being prophesied again and happening now? Does that make sense to what you guys are talking about at all?
I don't think so. I was describing first century Jewish Christian ideas and not my own ideas. So
Oh, I see. And I'm not familiar with their ideas. But I guess I'll just leave with that. Then I guess my view on it, and I'm new to the topic and learning these things, is that what I believe is that that if you want to call it God, the biblical God, or whomever, I think the source creator, which is our higher self, is experiencing itself and ascending at different time periods. That's why we have different civilizations who always make it to the peak and then crash. And now I believe it's the final incarnation of this version of us as humans. And then we'll be not at the right hand of God, but onto higher realms, 1,000 years of peace as described in the Bible. And when we manifest, we create. And we'll go through that process for however long until we go higher up in the realms, until we merge with the Godhead. And but I believe all of it's happening at once. But that's all. And I appreciate you guys. This is an awesome channel. I'm new to TikTok as a whole. So you guys are inspiring, good conversation with both of you guys, and the host, you amazing job. So appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much. And feel free to come back anytime. My name is Coco because I run the page, The Controversial Compass, a space where only the best ideas win. I debate people. I host formal debates. And basically, yeah, it's a debate, formal debate channel. And basically, I'm trying to bring professional debates to TikTok because I'm a fan of debates. And I'm also trying to document my journey to figure out what my beliefs are. I'm currently
Awesome.
agnostic.
Okay, awesome. I hate all of you guys with the follow, so appreciate it. Good job.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming out. And with that, we're going to do one more guest, and then I'm going to restart the live. And yeah, that'll be the end of the night. Let me do. Hey, Phoenix, do you got any comments, questions, concerns, or critiques over the debate that just happened?
Yeah, I appreciate being let on as the last guest. I heard the end of this, so I heard I think Godless talk about. He mentioned I think Paul's idea of like Jesus's body being sinful or something, and I was wondering where he was getting that from. I just want to make sure that I understand correctly.
Yeah, so I mean, he's pretty explicit about the body, the pre-resurrection body versus the post-resurrection body. The clearest example of that is the allegory of Galatians 4. He explicitly says that like the when Jesus was born of a woman, he was born in sinful flesh, right? And so
Okay.
when he unalived, right, he was reborn into a new body that was not sinful, that was of the kingdom, right? So that's the way that Paul explains in Galatians 4. That's how the sin is defeated, and you're given new life whenever you become a Christian. Jesus has already destroyed that sin because that sinful body has been destroyed and resurrected into a new one.
Okay, that's interesting. I personally kind of I'm Catholic, so I have like certain ideas about this, but I think. Do you think that like when he says sinful body, he means anything like wrongdoing, or does he just mean like kind of a limited body?
No, I mean, I think that it's he was born in Jewish flesh, right? So like
Okay.
it just means, and I am a mythicist, but I think that Paul viewed it as Jesus was crafted or made into this body that was sinful and Jewish, and that is a symbolic thing for the unalivement and rebirth, so that it could come back in a pure body, because our bodies here on earth are born through women, and they consider women to be the sort of the gateways for sin, and so that that's the whole, it's a later development, but the original sin is where you can see that kind of coming in that we're born into sin, and then through Jesus's resurrection we are absolved.
Okay, that's really interesting. I've not heard the idea that of sin coming from women. I was always taught that it was just like our nature is flawed through the original sin of Adam and Eve. But it's interesting to hear your view. I see there's a timer, so I just want to thank you for explaining, and y'all have a good night.
Absolutely. Come back anytime. You're always welcome.
With that, I appreciate you having the debate, Godless. Coco, I appreciate you hosting. Everybody who sent me gifts, I appreciate it. Jesse, thank you. Everybody, thank you. I hope y'all have a good day, and maybe I'll debate again. We'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, both of you guys are welcome to schedule as many debates as you want, as frequently as well. Okay, maybe not as frequently, because I do have to make the promo
I went
videos.
5 debates every day for the next 10 years, Coco.
Yeah. And for everybody who's in here who's wondering, like, am I going to do this again? Yes, I plan on doing social media as a hobby. Hopefully, in my wildest dreams, it could become my main form of income, or I could do it for a living. But I will be doing it for the next 10 years, like guaranteed. I love what I do. I do a lot of research. I edit a lot of videos. I do promo videos, and I promote debaters and host these debates in hopes of bringing professional debates to TikTok and doing major events someday. But I'm not going to blab too much, but I think my goal is to save up money and do like a major event like publicly, right? Where people show up, buy tickets, and we can have guest speakers like Graham Oppie or like William Lane Craig, or people on TikTok like Godless Engineer. Dude, it'd be awesome to fly you out and have you speak on stage, right? Or debate somebody on stage, right? Be able to do those kinds of things, or Deconstruction
Well-
Justin, Danny, all sorts of people.
Yeah, so I'm actually hosting my first conference this year called Rocket City Reason. So if you ever get to that point, you just let me know, and I'll do my best to help you out, okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd be an honor. I think I would actually cry if I got to do something like that. But yeah, like that's going to be the end of the debate event, and yeah, it was awesome. It was a privilege, and feel free to schedule more debates in the future. I'm happy to host them and promote them. But yeah, and I'll see you guys around. I'm gonna restart the live.